What's going on, my friends? This is Gamer for Life. Now, I'm not gonna have an exotic of the week video or exotics of the week video because I actually ended up only getting one exotic, which is the one you're probably seeing right now. Mainly because I was not doing a lot of PvE last week. I mean, I did a few missions, fought a few bosses in New York, but I was mainly in the DZ doing a lot of PvP, just waiting for Title Update 10. That's coming out tomorrow. So I just wanted a little change of pace. If you're in the DZ on Xbox last week, you probably saw me. But today I wanted to go over the patch notes. They did bring out the patch notes for the Title Update 10 that's coming out tomorrow. And we're gonna skim through this stuff because if I go over all of it, we will be here all day. So let's try not to do that. A lot of this stuff I've already gone over in a previous video. And yeah, let's see what we have. Obviously the new season. The new season is not coming out until a week from tomorrow. The new season, just like the first season, is going to have a 12-week period where you fight 5 rogues, bring down all 5 rogues to unlock the new skill variant, which this time the skill variant is a healing trap. Also, the new season is going to have a new global event Hollywood, new apparel event, Phoenix Down, new leagues, Termite, Luna, Huntsman, and Titan, new rewards, 2 new exotics, 1 new gear set, 2 new named weapons, 2 new named gear, and 1 new brand set. Participating in the activities above will earn players season experience contributing to their season level. Playing Conflict will contribute XP by gaining conflict levels beyond 30. Playing in the Dark Zone will contribute XP by gaining DZ levels beyond 30 as well. The new raid, Operation Iron Horse. New bosses, puzzles, and rewards, level 40 version available on June 30th, followed the next week by the level 30 version. Discovery mode will become available at a later date. The unique rewards, 2 new exotics, 2 new gear sets, a new cosmetic rewards. Further details will become available closer to the raid's release date in late June. So we have that to look forward to. They have some balance and bug fixes, which at the very end there's a huge section for all of the bug fixes that they did. New exotics, we've gone over that in a previous video, along with the new gear sets. I mean, I'll stop for a second in case you want to pause the video and take a look at them. The new gear sets, new gear brand, new named weapons, new named gear, new skill variant we haven't gone over, the repair trap. The repair trap deploys a line of small devices capable of repairing friendlies in their proximity. Note, the repair trap will not be available in-game until the seasonal prime target unlocks in August. So we got that. New talents that I've already gone over. Gameplay changes, missions reduced. How many elites will spawn in the following missions? So in all of these missions here, in the loot. So general loot, added all new season 2 weapons, gear to general loot pools. Obviously will take effect next week when season 2 begins. Item power, updated item power distribution to have a better spread between minimum and maximum for all difficulties. Increase minimum rolled item power for field proficiency, DZ caches, clan caches, and seasonal caches. Difficulty scaling, so this is a nice change here. Difficulty scaling, regular loot from loot containers on missions now scales with mission difficulty. Targeted loot from loot containers in missions now scales with mission difficulty. Loot containers part of living world Activities now scale with global difficulty. So that is a nice change. Increase targeted loot drops chances for all missions and control point difficulties. Add a new Season 2 brand to targeted loot rotation. Warlords of New York brands can now also show up as targeted loot in DC, including Dark Zones. Named items. Increase named item drop chance in regular Dark Zone loot. Increase named item drop chance in targeted loot everywhere. Exotics. They added the Warlords of New York Season 1 exotics excluding the Bighorn to targeted loot. Added Warlords of New York Season 1 exotics excluding Bighorn to general exotic loot pools. Heroic, legendary, raid, exotic, cash. So that's cool. Coyote's mask dropped from Coyote no longer has a minimum season level requirement. Control points. Removed regular weapon geared loot containers not scaling with difficulty from control points. Increase the amount of scaling loot from the big control point reward container. Legendary. Increase NPC loot drop chance for veteran and elites on legendary difficulty. Alright, crafting. Crafting will now guarantee a higher minimum item power, resulting in higher overall stat rolls. An increased maximum item power also allows for better crafted items than before. The added weighting between the minimum and maximum power results in a more balanced average outcome for crafted and reconfigured items. Removed Final World Tier 5 crafting bench upgrade as its power increase is now redundant. Vendors. Okay, vendors add in named items. Okay, we've gone over that in my last video. Shade levels. Added field proficiency cash to shade level up after reaching the maximum season level. Increase crafting material rewards for spending shade level points in the scavenging category. Yeah, I went over that in my last video. Conflict added season shade experience gain on conflict level up. Rogue agent encounters. Every rogue agent kill will now drop loot. Rogue agent encounters no longer occur during the time trials. Also, control point officers. Players revived by a control point officer will now have 80% of their armor restored, previously 0%. Reduce the likelihood of control point officers being down in combat. Alright, what do we have about bounties? Bounties acquired by speaking to characters in the open world will always be set to the difficulty at time of acquisition or higher. This affects the snitch and civilians rescued during the public execution or rescue living world activities. Scheduled bounties such as daily and clan bounties are unaffected. Project's new season pass holder project slot. Season pass holders now have access to an exclusive daily mission which provides a large bonus to XP. Weekly shade requisition project slot. In-game players at World Tier 5 and level 40 now have a weekly supplies donation project which rewards them with an exotic cash. For World Tier 5 players, this replaces the previous daily shade requisition project. Legendary mission project. After TU10, completing any legendary mission will grant you the weekly legendary project slot. Completing the designated legendary mission will reward you with an exotic cash. So that's nice. It's always a good thing when you get an exotic cash. They have some RPG balances. Incoming repairs. Incoming repairs no longer increases the amount of armor repaired by armor kits, talents, or gear set effects. And they go into a long explanation about this. Weapon handling. So this is just confirming what I said in my last video. 1% weapon handling now gives 1% weapon accuracy, stability, reload speed, and swap speed, up from 0.25%. Reduce the maximum amount of weapon handling rolled on gear by 6% to a maximum of 8% at level 40. So they brought it down to 8%. I thought it was going to be 10%, but you know, 8%, that's still cool. You can get weapon handling on 8% on your gear pieces, and you get that full value. As it basically goes over what it just said. You get the 8% full value on all of those things from the weapon handling. Alright. Talent changes. Leadership bonus armor increased to 15% from 12%. Spike skill damage duration increased to 15 seconds from 8 seconds. Reformation skill repair duration increased to 15 seconds from 8 seconds. Creeping Death no longer goes on cooldown if there are no valid nearby enemies to apply a status effect. 2 status effects applied now properly copy the source status effects damage and duration. So PvP, global damage modifiers reduce all PvP weapon damage by 20%. Additional damage modifiers increase marksman rifle PvP damage by 12.5%. Reduced assault rifle PvP damage by 15%. Reduced shotgun PvP damage by 12.5%. Reduced SMG by 10%. Reduced pistol by 10%, and reduced rifle PvP damage by 5%. So, developer comment with TU10, there have been significant buffs made to the base damage of assault rifles, SMGs, and shotguns in particular. In order to prevent those weapons from becoming overly powerful in PvP, we've had to lower their PvP damage modifiers to compensate. Another note, assault rifles are still tuned to be 10% stronger than normal in PvP in order to compensate for their innate damage to health bonus being less useful against other players when compared to other weapon archetypes. Okay. Specific damage modifiers increase double barrel shotgun PvP damage by 16.6%, reduced pestilence PvP damage by 10%, reduced classic M1A damage by 5%. Exotic modifiers, merciless, ruthless, binary trigger, amplified weapon damage, and explosion damage reduced by 50% in PvP. Dodge City Gunslinger's holster quick draw damage bonus gain per stack in PvP lowered from 2% to 1%. Stacks gain per second in PvP now match the PvE value 0.5 seconds to 0.3. Imperial Dynasty no longer automatically applies burn status effect to the nearest enemy in range, now requires maintaining range and line of sight for 3 seconds between the holster bearer and the nearest enemy before applying the burn status effect. Added visual UI feedback to reveal the radius of effect in PvP and an indicator for line of sight between the holster bearer and nearest enemy. Cool. So I know a lot of people are going to be happy about that. Additionally, on the Pestilence, Plague of the Outcast damage overtime effect no longer triggers True Patriot's white debuff armor repair effect, PvP and PvE. Gear set modifiers, Negotiator's Dilemma reduce the range at which marked targets can damage each other when critically hit to 15 meters, PvP only. Added visual UI feedback when in range of another marked target. Talent modifiers, efficient reduced specialization armor kit bonus from 100% to 50%, Versatile, reduce the amplified weapon damage bonus for SMGs and shotguns from 35% to 25%. Vanguard, reduce the duration of shield invulnerability from 5 seconds to 2 seconds. Note UI will still show the old duration but will be fixed in a later update. Specialization modifiers, firewall's getting nerfed. Okay. Wow. Okay. So firewall's getting its armor kit's getting a nerf by 50%. So it's going from 200% to 150%. So yeah, that coupled with the efficient, they definitely addressed that issue that a lot of people has been complaining about. Skill modifiers. Pulse now correctly reveals and highlights all players in the DZ, not just hostiles and rogues. I like that. Increase striker drone damage by 30%. Increase assault turret damage by 55%. Reduce Firestarter Chem Launcher PvP damage by 20%. Reduce bleed damage from Stinger Hive, Mortar Turret, and Explosive Seeker Mine by 75%. Increase Stinger Hive damage by 20%, scaling up to 55% at skill tier 6. Then you have a lot of weapon balancing. So some of the exotic changes, the Bighorn is going to get a nice little buff. Damage increased by 11.2%. Increase optimal range from 27 meters to 40. Optics mod bonus increased from 0% to 30% headshot damage. So that's a big buff there. Magazine mod bonus change from 7% headshot damage to 10% reload speed. So basically that's a 23% increase in headshot damage. Take that into account. Added functionality that provides additional headshot damage. Full talent is now wind scope. Switches to semi-automatic fire mode, dealing 450% weapon damage with each shot. Headshots grant plus 2% headshot damage, stacks up to 50 times. Resets to 0 at full stacks. Okay. Eagle Bear, damage increased by 7.8%. Underbarrel mod bonus change from 10% stability to 10% weapon handling, which is great because that's going to be stability, accuracy, weapon swap, and reload speed for the weapon handling. Chameleon, so they are bringing that full buff into the live game. The damage increased by 32.8%. Optics mod bonus change from 15% accuracy to 15% critical hit chance. Muzzle mod bonus change from 5% critical hit chance to 20% accuracy. Underbarrel mod bonus change from 10% critical hit chance to 10% stability. Optimal range increased by 33.3% from 15 meters to 20. Long range effectiveness increased by 19%. From 42 to 50. Added functionality that returns your current buffs to the next combat encounter when combat ends. Full talent is now hitting 30 headshots grant plus 20% critical hit chance and 50% crit damage for 45 seconds. Hitting 75 body shots grant plus 90% weapon damage for 45 seconds. Hitting 30 leg shots grant plus 150% reload speed for 45 seconds, and buffs refresh when out of combat. Bullet King is getting damage increase by 2.6%. Nemesis damage increased by 11.1%. Optics mod bonus increase from 35% to 45% headshot damage. Underbarrel mod bonus reduced from 15% to 5% weapon handling. Liberty optics mod bonus change from 5% crit chance to 5% headshot damage. Muzzle mod bonus change from 15% stability to 5% critical hit chance. Magazine mod bonus change from plus 15% reload speed to 15% weapon handling. Added functionality to provide extra damage if you're trying to keep stacked. Full talent is now hits grant plus 2% weapon damage. Stacks up to 30. Headshots consume all stacks, repairing your shield for 3% per stack. No longer highlights enemy weak points when aiming. Okay, so the Merciless is getting a damage increase by 12.5%. I don't want to spend all day reading all of this, so yeah. Diamondback damage increased by 7.7%. Text updated to clarify a new target isn't marked until after the 5-second buff. Lullaby Sweet Dreams damage increased by 11%. Lady Death. Yeah, I went over the Lady Death. It's getting a damage increase by 18.9%. Also, the Breathe Free lowered the amount of maximum stack from 40 to 32 and increased the damage amplification per stack from 60% to 75%. It's also getting that 500% melee damage I was talking about in the last video. So that is coming into the live game. So we have the Chatterbox, damage increased by 16.7%. Magazine base capacity reduced from 60 to 50. Okay. Pestilence muzzle mod, bonus change from 10% stability to 10% accuracy. Under barrel mod, bonus change from 10% weapon handling to 10% stability. Ninja Bike. Messenger knee pads added functionality to add bonus armor. Full talent is now. Performing a cover-to-cover or vaulting reloads your drawn weapon and grants plus 25% bonus armor for 5 seconds. That's a nice change, actually. Well, it's not a change, just something that's added, so that's pretty decent. Dodge City Holster added functionality that makes your hit do headshot damage. Full talent is now while your pistol is holstered, gain a stacking buff every 0.3 seconds up to 100. When you swap to it, your first shot consumes the buff and deals 10% damage per stack. This deals headshot damage to anywhere you hit. That's cool. BTSU gloves change functionality to no longer grant group raid wide overcharge unless you are skill tier 6. Added functionality to provide hive skill haste. Full talent is now grants plus 15% hive skill haste per skill tier. Detonating a hive refreshes your skill cooldowns and grants overcharge for 15 seconds. If at skill tier 6, this effect also applies to all allies. Allies receiving this effect are unable to benefit from it again for 120 seconds. Sawyer's knee pads added functionality to continue to provide damage bonus move for a short duration. Full talent is now cannot be staggered by explosions. Increase total weapon damage by 3% every second you are not moving. Stacks up to 10 until you start moving, and all stacks lost 10 seconds after moving. So that's pretty big too. If you stand in place for 10 seconds, you have 30% weapon damage, even if you start moving for 10 seconds. So that's actually, we'll see if that stays in the game, because that's pretty big. Gear set changes. Oh no, they touched the hardwire. Feedback loop no longer fully refreshes the cooldown. Wow. Of a skill, but instead reduces it by 30 seconds. So I'm guessing on some of the skills, if it doesn't have a 30-second timer, it should refresh it automatically, right? So that may not be that big of a deal. We'll see. We will definitely see. Ongoing directive. Main talent, hollow point ammo is no longer dropped on kill and instead automatically added to your active weapon when killing status affected enemies. That's actually pretty decent. Backpack talent, trauma specialist. Increase the duration of your bleed status effect by 50% and all bleed damage done by 100%. Increase 3-piece reload speed bonus from 20% to 30%. Cool. Gunner specialization and placement talent, weapon handling bonus reduced from 15% to 10%. Note the UI will incorrectly say it still adds 15% weapon handling. This will be fixed in a future update. Okay, skill changes. Stinger Hive, mortar turret, and explosive seeker mine now display its bleed damage and duration. Seeker mine cluster, seeker mine targeting accuracy improved. The Hive, Stinger Hive base damage reduced 20%. Stinger Hive damage bonus per skill tier increased from 10% to 20%. Chem Launcher, Rod Foam, Chem Launcher, and Snare duration bonus per skill tier reduced from 20% to 10%. Reinforcer, Chem Launcher UI has been updated to clarify that the initial heal only affects allies and not the skill user. The functionality has not changed. Firefly, Blinder Firefly, blind duration bonus per skill tier reduced plus 20% to plus 10%. Blinder Firefly, base blind duration reduced from 6 seconds to 5 seconds. And the pulse, Banshee pulse cooldown increased from 20 seconds to 30 seconds. Banshee pulse base confused duration reduced from 5 seconds to 4 seconds. Jammer pulse base disrupt duration reduced from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. The shock trap base shock duration reduced from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. PvP duration remains unchanged. Shock trap base radius increased from 2 meters to 2.5 meters. When the active duration ends, its cooldown is refunded an equal number of seconds that it was active. Okay, then you have a lot of developer comments, and then down here you have all of the bug fixes. And I will leave a link, like I said, to these patch notes, or if you want to pause it. That's why I'm kind of going slow over it, so give you a chance to pause it and take a look at it here, because it is a lot. So yeah, that is a lot. So that's what we have coming starting tomorrow. Again, the season will start a week from tomorrow, and then the raid will be on June 30th for level 40 agents, and then the following week for level 30, and then sometime in the future they will have a discovery mode as well. So anyway, that's all the new information that we have. Like I said, I don't do a lot of informational videos, but when you have a big update, some significant stuff happening, that's when definitely want to put that information out there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry it was so long. As always, YouTube, take it easy.